Greetings, cyberdogs and citizens of the internet. This is RENDOG coming at you from the Great Railway Line on the way to Dogtown in this Let's Play Minecraft Survival series. In the previous episode, we were working on the foundations of the MOLEMART Bazaar, and in this episode, my friends, we are going to go check in on Dogtown and head to the quarry to get ourselves a little bit more sand. We need a butt ton of glass to finish MOLEMART. Guys, I've got a bunch of stuff to tell you about in this episode too, man. Life has been freaking cray-cray over the last 3 weeks or so, so sit back and relax, my friends. I hope you have a tasty-ass beverage. I hope you have some crunchy-ass snacks. Let's play some Minecraft Survival! Well, cyberdogs, the last time we were together, we were on our way to Dogtown, and this freaking brown-ass sheep over here waylaid us, got in our way, and stopped our freaking journey. You know what? Maybe what we should do sometime is drag this freaking sheep back to the MOLEHOLE Castle. Maybe this guy should be like the pet sheep of the MOLEHOLE Castle, because he always gets in my way whenever I'm on my way to Dogtown, man. Sheep, you are a freaking butthole! Anyway, let's head all the way back to our minecart, which has gone all the way down there, guys. But man, let me tell you something, my cyber diggity dogs, I am happy to be playing Minecraft with you today. And, life has been pretty freaking crazy for the last 3 weeks, man. It has just been insane on my side of things. I know a ton of you guys are probably wondering, Ren Diggity Dog, where in the jazz have you been? It's been like 3 weeks since the last episode, and man, I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about what has transpired up in the life of RENDOG over the last 3 weeks. And it's been quite a lot of bad news, actually. However, there is light at the end of the tunnel. And the reason that I know that there is light at the end of the tunnel is because I'm playing freaking Minecraft with you guys right now. If things had not gone the way that I wanted them to go, you probably wouldn't be seeing another Minecraft video until next year. But man, so what has been going down in the life of RENDOG, guys? Well, firstly, I hope you guys are all freaking well, man. I hope you guys are all doing amazingly well. It is now December 2014, almost Christmas time. And for you cyberdogs who are watching this on the day of release, you know, I hope you guys are with your families. I hope you're going to have a freaking sweet-ass Christmas and all of that sweet jazz. For those of you guys who are watching this in the future, well, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year for that has already passed. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of what I want to tell you today, guys, let's check into Dogtown. This is one of the very first NPC villages that we found in this series, and in fact, Season 2 started within this very village over here. One of the very first things we did in Season 2 was erect a giant-ass wall all the way around Dogtown. We put a whole bunch of golems in here to protect the villagers, and Dogtown is the source of our very own Griswold in Mole City. We actually stole Griswold from this town over here. And things are looking pretty good over here, man. The ladies are attending to their croppage over here. That's pretty sweet. Good work, ladies. It looks like some more villages have spawned around here too. So might be worth checking in on some trades at some point around here. Things are looking pretty good over here. Glad to see our villagers are still alive and kicking. And man, I think they are breeding up in here, man. Things are getting crazy around here. This is the town of love, you know what I'm saying? And this is my bedroom over here in Dogtown. Just making sure that no one's actually taken my place in my freaking house. I know I've been away for a long time, citizens of Dogtown, but you keep your freaking buttholes out of my house. Ah, thank you. Alright guys, let's head over to the quarry. We have a purpose for today's episode, and that purpose is of course to get as much sand as possible so that we can make some glass. I've been working on the MOLEMART Bazaar now for the last few hours with you guys, and as you know, it's become quite clear to me, and probably to you guys too, that we are going to need a ridiculous amount of glass if we're going to build up the walls of the MOLEMART Bazaar. It's actually becoming a much bigger building than I originally anticipated. So we're just going to head over to the quarry here and do some freaking torch mining, man. Just collect as much sand as we can with these torches over here. This is like a nice quick way to collect torches instead of using shovels to dig out blocks of sand. Just use the torches, man. You know what I'm saying? Just keep it real. Keep it real and keep it simple. But yeah, man, guys, it has been a long time since I've played Minecraft, and in fact, this is one of the very first opportunities I've had since I finished recording the last episode to actually sit down and play some Minecraft. And man, there's a reason for that, and I'm going to share that with you guys now. I want to try keep this video as positive as possible though, guys. So if I start sounding a little bit negative, I don't mean to. It's freaking almost Christmas time, okay? So let's keep positive. Let's keep looking upwards. Let's keep a positive frame of mind throughout this video. Because if you guys are not positive with me, then there's no ways I'm going to be able to be positive over the next few days or so. So basically, what the jazz has gone down in the life of Rendog? Well, the last episode in this season, I think I recorded, it was probably about three weeks ago or 4 weeks ago or so. And literally 2 days after I recorded and uploaded the last episode of this Minecraft series on my YouTube channel, I lost my job. Now, that may not sound like too bad of a thing, but it was pretty bad, man. So over the last few months or so, or actually, yeah, probably for the majority of this year, I've been doing everything possible in my life to sort of stabilize, to get back on track, so to speak, both sort of financially, emotionally, as a YouTuber, as a human, because the last year or so, for those of you guys who've been with me since the beginning, has been a pretty intense year for me, man. It's been quite hectic, and I've had to work really, really hard to sort of keep stable and try and get my life back on track. And upon the recording of the last episode, things were going so freaking well, man. My Minecart was on track. It was heading in the right freaking direction, and I was extremely happy with life. Everything was going really well. And I was working in a job that I was really enjoying with people that I was really, really enjoyed working with, to be honest with you. Really great bunch of people. And most importantly, I was finding my track again, right? Now, the reason that I got a job this year is because I needed to sort out I needed to sort myself out financially. And over the last year and a half or so, I've been developing a mobile game. Now, some of you guys have already been in the beta. Some of you guys already know about it. You've already played it and so on. And most of you guys just know that I'm making a game, right? Now, this is something that I've always wanted to do with my life. In fact, it's one of my all-time goals is to make a successful game. And that's one of my primary life goals is to make a game. And I don't have, I'm not talking about a multi-million-dollar selling game. I'm talking about making a game that people will love, people will talk about, and that people will, like in the future be like, oh, remember that game that Rendog guy made? Man, that was a pretty sweet game. Like that's all I really want out of that particular goal in my life. Now, making a game is no easy task. Let me tell you. And not only is it extremely challenging from a work perspective to actually put a game together, but it's also extremely expensive. And for the last 2 years or so, I have been dedicating all of my finances, all of my funds that I can save, that I can muster, as well as all of my life savings into creating this game. And this game has now cost me around $60,000. I know, right? It's a lot. Yeah, it's a butt ton. But let me tell you, man, in the world of making games, some of you guys might know, that's actually quite cheap. Now, the problem with that is that the $60,000 that I've put into making this game, about half of that is borrowed. So I have basically borrowed about half of that $60,000 from the bank to make the game. And what that has meant is that I've gone quite deep into debt. And one of the problems with debt is you got to pay it off every month. And at the beginning of this year, I found myself in a pretty bad situation financially. The debt that I was paying off for the game was coming in at almost over half of my rent, right? So I was paying my rent, and then I was paying another half of my rent toward paying off the debt. So essentially, I was like treading water. And I was actually drowning because I wasn't bringing in enough money to pay the rent, work on YouTube, pay for the game, and so on. So the decision that I made was to find a job and to try and recuperate some of that debt and try and deal with some of that debt by working in a job, and doing YouTube at the same time. So that was basically my goal, right? And about 6 months ago, I achieved that goal and I got a really good job. And I worked for about three months or so, and I did really, really well, and I paid off a bit of that debt, which was awesome. I then continued to work because the job that I was working at offered me an extension. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll carry on working, and this is doing really well because every single month the debt that I have to pay off is getting smaller. And eventually I'm going to be able to pay off everything, and then I can start putting money back into developing the game. And all was going extremely well until 2 days after the last Minecraft episode that I uploaded onto YouTube. On that day, my boss informed me that my services were no longer required and that it would be my last day at the job. Now, I don't want to go into the details about exactly what happened. It doesn't matter now, really. All that matters at that point in time was that I was now back in the position that I was at the beginning of the year, unable to pay the bills, unable to pay my debts, and basically in a whole bunch of financial trouble. Now, for those of you guys who are younger, right? So for you cyber pups out there, like, all of this jazz doesn't really matter. And it's probably still a couple of years to go before you experience any of this stuff. But the reality of the world is that, man, you gotta have cash. You gotta pay that rent, man. You gotta pay them bills. And if you don't, then everything falls apart. Like, I mean, you can just forget about like following a dream or trying to achieve a goal, because if you can't support yourself financially, it's never going to happen. Now, there were a couple of options that I had, of course. And one of the options was, of course, to, I don't know, give up on everything and sort of go back to South Africa and, I don't know, start again. And that idea never really crossed my mind until the day that I lost that job. I'd been working so freaking hard, personally and everything, to stabilize and to get to a point where I was happy again. And when I lost that job, oh man, it just felt like everything, like all the work that I had done, just caved in. I don't know, man. It was one of the very first times in my life that I've actually thought about just giving up. And I don't mean giving up on life, because that's the coward's way out. What I mean is sort of giving up on this crazy adventure that I've been on, leaving my country to come to Europe to make a better life for myself and achieve something great. And it was one of the very first times. I remember that day that I lost my job, I went back home, and I was just sitting in my flat, and I was like, man, is all of this even worth it? Maybe I should just go back to South Africa and I don't know, just go back to what I was doing before. Now, for those of you guys who know me a little bit better, you know that I'm a little bit better than that, right? It takes a lot more than that for RENDOG'S to give up. But I'm not ashamed to say that in that moment I was in a bad place. I was in a really dark place, actually, and I was like, you know what? All of this jazz is just such a waste of time. Let's just give it all up. And for a few days or so, I basically just moped around my flat, feeling sorry for myself, eating a whole bunch of chips and drinking a whole bunch of Coca-Cola, and just feeling really down. And I started thinking about like what I should do, and I had a chat with my brother Goxie, the real Gox, for those of you guys who don't know him. And he really pulled me up, man. He really inspired me. And, what he said to me really pulled me through it. And he said to me, "Ah, bastard!" And, the real Gox really inspired me, man. He was like, dude, you've been through much harder times than this. This is nothing. Pick your freaking butthole up off the floor and move forward. And that's exactly what I did, man. The next day I went out looking for another job, and within a few days after losing my first job, I found another one. Now, my new job is also awesome, but man, am I working my butthole off there, man. I'm working like 10, 12-hour days, and on the weekends, I'm just absolutely knackered. But I got back into the minecart, man. I got back into the swing of things about 2 weeks ago, and I got this new job. Now, this new job is only going to last for about 3 weeks or so. It's a pretty short contract job, but it definitely sort of, it helped me like pick myself back up, right? And helped me think, you know what, actually, we're going to carry on chasing this freaking dream because YOLO, right? But yeah, guys, so that's basically what's been happening with me over the last few weeks or so. I started a new job after losing the other job, and that contract is actually coming to an end. My last working day is, in fact, on Christmas Eve, and yes, I am working on Christmas Eve. That does suck, I know. Now, one of the reasons I was so bummed about losing that other job is because what I wanted to do this year was go back to South Africa for Christmas. Last year, I didn't go back to South Africa. In fact, I was in London for New Year's and Christmas. And this year, I really, really, really wanted to go back to South Africa so that I could be with my family, because I haven't seen them in quite a long time. And, you know, I miss them, man. I want to go and spend Christmas with them like I used to when I was younger. But unfortunately, the flight to South Africa from London in December is around $3,500. And that is a lot, right? But thank you for your donation, Diablo. But it may have been it was a lot, but what I was doing, I was saving for that ticket, right? So I was working in this job and I was saving as much as I could so that I could buy that flight back to South Africa. But when I lost the job, you know, I couldn't save anymore, obviously. And that's, I guess, that's what really brought me down. It wasn't the fact that I like lost the job, like that wasn't really that important, right? The fact is that I was planning to go back home and I couldn't get back home, and I think that's what really bummed me out. So we're back in MOLEMART over here, guys. I'm going to carry on working on the MOLEMART BAZAAR shelves over here while I talk about this. And I think that's probably what really brought me down. In fact, I know that is what really brought me down, and I was quite upset about it all, man. Now, I started a new job, but obviously, you know, when you start a new job, you can't just go on holiday, you know. So I decided that I would work over the December period, all the way up until New Year's Eve, and that's exactly what I'm doing, right? So I'm working all the way up until the day before Christmas. But of course, that means that I can't go back to South Africa this year, and that means that I'm not going to be with my family this year, man. And that really sucks, because this is now the second year in a row that I haven't been with them. And yeah, man, it's kind of, oh man, bums me out a bit. However, I haven't let it bring me down, because you know what? I've been through much worse than this, man. You know, I was thinking about what the Goxie said to me about that, and and I was thinking about like all the really hard things that I've been through in this life, and I think it's actually quite a good exercise to do. If you're going through like a hard time in your life at the moment, try this little exercise, right? Think back in your life to points in your life that were really tough, and think back to exactly how you felt in those times. I'm going to head back into the storage rooms and get some more of those stone stairs that we need for the shelves of the MOLEMART BAZAAR. But think back to how you felt in those moments, right? In those moments of despair, in those moments where you thought that, like, you know, this is it, it's over. Now think about how you are now, right? And if you're feeling better now than you did then, that means that you are capable of getting out of that hole that you get yourself into. And a good exercise is to think about like the various times in your life that have been really challenging, and then think about how you came through them. And when I think about my own life, there's been quite a few you know, challenges that I've been through in my life, and that I have now gotten through. As some of you guys know, my father passed away when I was extremely young. I was 6 years old when my father passed away. And even though I don't really remember him that much, I do remember the day that it happened as clear as can be, man. You know, I mean, I remember that day, and in fact, I remember the days after that quite clearly too. And I remember how terrible I felt, even though I was only 6 years old. I remember how freaking awful I felt, and how desperate I felt, and how I felt like, you know, this is, it's difficult to explain. you know, unless you've actually been through it. And I know a lot of you guys have been through that too. But, you know, I moved on, even though I was 6 years old. I progressed. And I became a good person, and I went to school, and I got an education, and I didn't go down the drain, and all of that sweet jazz. Everything turned out fairly well for me. And I mean, that was a very tricky time in my life, right? And I got through that. Another time in my life that I remember quite clearly as being extremely difficult was when my very first love broke up with me, man. I know that sounds like ridiculously cheesy, but it's extremely, extremely hard when the first love of your life breaks up with you, right? Because you just think, well, this is the end of my life. There is nothing else to live for, man. My love broke up with me. Forever alone. I mean, I can joke about it now, but I remember at the time, I was devastated. I was a wreck. I was an absolute mess. But I got through that too. You know, when I left South Africa to come to Europe, that was also an extremely tricky time in my life. Leaving my family, leaving my friends, leaving my life, leaving everything behind to come here. But you know what? I did it and I got through it. And here we are now, 2014, almost the end of the year, almost 2015. And I'm still alive and kicking. So you know what? I'm back on track, people. I'm feeling positive, I'm feeling happy, and I'm just stoked to be playing Minecraft again, man. Now, 2014. I mean, what a year that was. And I'm sure a ton of you guys also had some pretty crazy years, man. In fact, you know what? I'm willing to bet that there's cyberdogs out there who had a worse year than me. Absolutely 100% positive of that. And I hope you guys are getting through the tough times and, you know, focusing on climbing your staircases and getting to the top. And don't freaking give up, man. I'm with you, because I'm not giving up. I'm still alive and kicking, and so you should be too. But 2015 is coming, and I'm excited. For me, it's going to be a new start. A fresh beginning to what has been a pretty crazy period in my life. I'm going to continue working. I'm going to try and continue working. And I'm going to continue on YouTube. And that is for absolute certain. And not only am I going to continue on YouTube, I really want to do a lot of work on YouTube next year. And I really want to focus on making this channel as successful as it can be. Even if it means, you know, fewer episodes and fewer videos coming on the channel. You know what? Sometimes a dream that you want to achieve has to take some time. And sometimes you have to make sacrifices to meet that dream. And that's what we got to do, man. We got to be patient, we got to be focused, and we just got to push forward. And we'll get there together, Cyber Diggity Dogs. I'm sure a ton of you guys out there have some really, really good goals that you need to meet next year or so. And you know what? You should start thinking about it now. Because the sooner you start thinking about those goals, the sooner you can start freaking applying yourselves to achieve them. And that's what the freaking Cyberdog Nation is all about, people. This is a freaking nation of positive, focused, freaking ambitious, driven individuals. And I know maybe some of you guys don't feel that way. Maybe you're in a bad spot right now and maybe you're not feeling that positive. But deep down inside, you know you are positive, man. And you know that you can get through anything. And that you will get through whatever you're getting through now. And whenever you're feeling down, man, just freaking switch on a RENDOG'S video. And hopefully I can make you feel a little bit better. But anyway, guys, that was quite a long-ass rant. Picking at my freaking watch now. That was a 27-minute long rant. But I hope that gives you guys a better perspective of where I am currently at in my life. And why there haven't been a whole bunch of Red Dog videos on my channel. And I need some more of that stone. I think I'm just going to drop off a whole bunch of this jazz. Let's stick on our freaking construction gear too. Drop a whole bunch of this in here. Oh man, we got a whole bunch of iron also. Sweet. You know what? This iron is actually going to go a long-ass way. Because we need a whole butt-ton of iron in this series. But I'm going to tell you about that another day, man. We've had too much negativity in this episode already. Let's get freaking positive, man. And, man, Diablo is just dropping off his freaking eggs. Diablo, where are you, bro? Dude, stop eating all that wheat. Your butthole is freaking way too active at the moment. Okay, that fast forward music is freaking jazzy. Alright, my friends, I hope you enjoyed that fast forward footage over there. I've just been slaving away over here trying to get our shelves built in the MoleMart Bazaar. As you can see, it's taking a butt long time because you got to do the same thing over and over and over freaking again. But we are getting there, man. We are getting there. The inside of the MoleMart Bazaar is starting to look pretty freaking awesome. Now, a ton of you guys have been giving me some excellent freaking hints and tips, as always, in the comment section of the previous video. And one of the most spoke about things in the comment section of the previous video, or I guess the one that I spotted the most, was the mention that in Minecraft 1.8 we have a whole bunch of new materials to collect. There's a whole bunch of new blocks, a whole bunch of new types of dirt and rock and stone, and man, I don't even know what they're called, you know? Like, I don't even know the names of these things. But apparently, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, oh, we got to go one higher there. Apparently, according to you guys, there's a whole bunch more stuff that we need to collect. Now, what I'm thinking is that we have been working on the MoleMart Bazaar now for quite a while. And what I'm thinking is maybe we should go on a little adventure. Maybe we should go on our very first 1.8 adventure to collect these new freaking blocks. Because you know what? We're going to need to store those blocks all the way up in here, man. Like, that is what the MoleMart Bazaar is basically. It's basically an upgraded version of the storage rooms of the Molehill Castle. And I want to collect a whole bunch of those freaking rocks and different types of ore. And man, I don't even know what it is. All I know is that we can get some new materials to work with, right? And that sounds like a freaking sweet plan to me. Like, I wouldn't mind getting a whole bunch of new materials, of new crafting materials to work with in Mole City, especially now that we're going to be working on the Nether District and working on some of these other parts of the city. So I definitely want to like have a few more textures that we can work with, different colors and so on, and so we can expand our creative freaking mind on the work that we're doing in Mole City. So I think, and let me know what you guys think in the comment section of this video, I think it's freaking adventure time. I think it's time we take the portal in the Nether Portal Temple over there, head into the Nether, get on board our Nether railway system, and head into the unknown. I mean, we need to load some new chunks, people. I mean, that's what we need to do. We could find some new villages also, some new 1.8 villages that we could, you know, think about carting back to Mole City if they have really good trades. All right, it's a done deal. In the next episode, we're going on a freaking adventure. But between now and then, guys, I'm going to carry on working on the construction site right here in the MoleMart Bazaar. I'm probably going to carry on working on this for the rest of the night. And you know, this episode, guys, I just wanted to have a nice long chat with you guys. I really do enjoy the episodes where we just talk, because you know what? It's kind of like it's kind of therapeutic for me, man. You know, I can sort of like get everything off my chest and talk to you guys. And I know you guys are really good listeners. You're always listening, and you guys always give me loads of encouragement in the comment sections and stuff. So thank you for listening to my rambling today. I hope you have enjoyed the episode. And also, I hope you guys now understand where the jazz I have been, and why sometimes it takes longer for my videos to come out. It's just called life, people. Real freaking life, man. Gotta handle the real life before you can head into the second life that is our Minecraft world, that is the Cyberdog Nation. You know what I'm saying, people? Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this episode. I really hope you have enjoyed it, guys. I certainly have, and I'm just going to crack on working on the Mole City Bazaar, and once all of these shelves are up and ready, we are going to head off on our very first 1.8 adventure in the next episode. It's been RenDoGTOWN playing Minecraft Survival. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We will see you in the next episode. Goodbye, my friends!